Our next item is under correspondence, the Open Meetings Act. There was a complaint filed against our office that we did not post the schedules, agendas, and meeting minutes, which we do post the schedules and the agendas, and the meeting minutes are now posted on there. Normally what we do is we email them. We keep a list of people that wanted our minutes and we email the minutes to them, but we should be posting them. So I went all the way back to 2020 to date, and they're now on our website. So I wanted to let everyone know about that update. And then we also have a letter from Vincent Gisriel regarding duplicate voters, but we're going to discuss that prior to Mr. Gisriel addressing the board on that later in the meeting. All right. And our budget report. Just take one and pass it down. They pass the yeah,
the same one you.
it's the same. Yeah, it's the same one I emailed. Any questions? The budget report. Any questions? I just need a motion, second to accept it.
And so moved.
Second. Yeah, Tom made it.
I second. I thought you did right here.
Yeah. Did someone second?
Jeff.
Jeff did, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, under old business, our office received a $50,000 grant from the Center for Tech and Civic Life to install ballistic glass in our doors and windows. And that work has been completed. There's a surplus of roughly $5,300 that we have returned to Center for Tech and Civic Life. And I also sent them a thank you note. Because that really makes us feel more secure, especially since we had the bomb scare right after the election last year. Meetings attended, the Maryland Association of Election Officials and State Board of Elections biennial was May 4th through the 8th in Ocean City. I was unable to attend due to health reasons, but I know that, excuse me, Teresa attended with the board members and attorney. I didn't know if anyone had any comments about the meeting or anything they wanted to talk about.
Everybody think of the facility change. No, sorry.
Pardon me?
What you think about the facility change? Like, it wasn't held there last year.
No.
The alternator or something.
Yeah, I think they go with the lowest bidder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's why they moved it.
It's good. Worked out for me.
Pardon?
I said it worked out for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think the parking was relatively more available because it's parking garage, but I was scared everybody more. Facility change.
What you had?
It was okay. I was going to say like the parking better.
Yeah. It was very easy to fire.
Yeah.
All right. Under new business, all future board meetings will be live streamed per state law that passed last year. And we will post the link. The link has been posted. You can view it on YouTube. Our budget, the FY26 budget, has been approved in full by the commissioners. One of the big changes in our budget is normally we hire the election judges and temporary help as an expense. And now they're hiring to bring them on board as county employees, which they had to do by law. And
Say that again. Yeah.
the county will be, instead of just hiring and paying for the judges as an expense, they will bring them on as county employees. and if necessary, withhold any taxes. They have to make a certain amount before they are obligated to pay taxes. And that's something new. I don't know how that's going.
And that's everyone, judges,
Yes,
judges.
election judges, and if we should hire any temporary help in the office.
That's great. Maybe we'll get more, support. Yeah.
I think so, because a lot of people said, if only I was paid and taxes would go, because at the end of the year, they may have to end up paying
Patty.
taxes.
Can everybody speak up? They say they cannot hear over the air condition over
Okay.
there.
Everyone just needs to speak up. So take one and pass it down. In the 2024 election, we had a lot of provisional ballots. That was people that were not on the books, and they were allowed to vote by provisional. The main reason is when the commissioners redistricted, a lot of people in Snow Hill were redistricted into the Pocomo district, as were people in Newark. They were redistricted into District 1. So those voters that normally voted at Snow Hill Middle School or the Newark Fire Company had to go either to Pocomo Fire Department or Hurdle Tree Church. And a lot of voters did not do that. They went to their old polling place, whether they just forgot or if they did it as a form of protest, because we did get a lot of phone calls complaining about that. What I would like the board to consider is re-precincting those portions of Snow Hill and Newark and consolidating them with Snow Hill Middle School or the Newark Fire Department, so that the voters, when they do go to vote, it's closer to their home. They don't have to travel all the way to Pocomo, but the ballot style that they're entitled to vote will be there. So the commissioners that run by district, if you're in the wrong district, you have to vote that district
Right,
ballot, which would not have the correct commissioner or board of ed
Right.
race on it. So by consolidating and bringing these two together, they would be able to vote the correct ballot style. And would like to know how the board feels about it, if they would like to proceed with this, or
What's the
Discuss it.
downside?
there's no down, I can't think of a downside,
Okay.
because the commissioners would get the votes from the people in their district. The voters, it's convenient, it's closer to their home.
Just more work for us, but it can be done.
Yeah, it can be done. It's more work to begin with, to get the people consolidated, but it would also be less work because it'd be less provisional
Commissioners
ballots.
in the end,
So
And the
in the long
voters
run,
would
it
be
would be,
happy.
yes,
No, that's important.
it's really strictly voter convenience. That's the main thing.
Patty, you need two separate motions, and you're doing it in one.
I'll probably need two separate
2 seconds.
motions.
I'll make the motion to create the ones for the Snow Hill District up where me and I live. And then trouble putting more, I can people can think about that. So
Right.
I'll make the motion for that one.
Okay. Do you
I'll
want to,
second it.
okay, so do you want to read?
Yeah. Motion to create a precinct with District 1-1 Pocomo Community Center polling places for those residents that live in Snow Hill and consolidate a new precinct with polling place 2-2 Snow Hill Middle School polling place. That's my motion.
And
I'll
Ed,
second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And then we'll need a motion also for the Newark.
I'll make that motion to create a precinct within District 1-2 First Baptist Church polling place for those residents that live in Snow Hill and Newark area. Consolidate the new polling place to the polling place of 2-3 Newark Fire Department polling.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, unanimously. The next step in this process is to get approval from the State Board of Elections. I don't foresee any problems because it will help voter turnout and have them vote the correct ballot. But we will start that process, and I'll give you an update at our next board meeting.
Good.
Okay. The next item, the Open Meetings Act. Several counties were received a complaint that they did not put their canvassing minutes. They did not live stream the canvass. And the state board has advised us that we cannot do that because there's PII on the teams. It gives a party affiliation in it. So the state board is going to revise the procedures so that in the future we can do the live stream.
What's PMI?
personal information.
Okay.
So you're saying that they will change that? And so
They're-
eventually
They're
they will
looking into
be,
changing it, yes, but right now, we don't have to post our canvassing minutes.
They're gonna give us a new template for our minutes. and what to
Right.
put.
So it removes any reference to party affiliation.
Okay.
And there has been a lawsuit filed challenging, closed primary elections. In Maryland, we have closed primaries, which means you have to be either Democrat or Republican to vote in the primary, unless you have an unaffiliated race, like Board of Ed race. There is a lawsuit filed and, the state is going to keep us up to date on the progress of that. Okay, we also have a new election calendar from the state. They moved the primary election date. So I have these little cheater cards
Like cheater cards.
to remind you. And I also have updated election calendars.
Here. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I will do the timeline that I usually do where I pull out the most important dates that the board needs to be. That will be.
I have a question.
Sure.
The place. Only voting place.
Yes.
Shall we tackle that earlier?
Well, I believe Tehran has sent, the contracts out. Have you gotten anything from?
Nah, that was received it back, but I've sent out the contract already for early voting plus primary, or the, primary election and the general election. That's for all of the polling places. I've got 4 back so far.
Early voting being Ocean City, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing the board is concerned is whatever room they decide to give us.
Getting in is the first battle.
Right. It's gonna be in June, the end of June. Oh,
wow.
so it's, traffic's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
and I don't know
Oh,
what kind of
man.
events they have. They move us around, from room to room, depending on what's available and who's having an event there. So we'll have to see what happens.
Later today, I'll give one of my contacts down there at Wall. And to know if we could push it forward more fast. Yeah, we got a couple of folks that did, on that versus when we formally send it out. So, that's good.
So you say you just sent it out to the convention center?
Uh,
All the.
All of them.
All of the polling places you sent contracts out to?
Patty, for the early voting date
And
between
he's got
11th and
your back.
18th.
Mhm.
I'm not sure of the Volunteer Firemen's Association convention that's held there at the Convention Center to pick up the entire parking lot. With apparatus and parking. I don't know if that's the 11th or 18th date. It could be the week before that, but typically it's the second.
Who, Jeff?
June.
Who?
Worcester County, this Maryland State Firemen's
Oh,
Association.
Oh, yeah.
Has a convention there. It's huge. So I don't know if that date is 11th and 18th. I don't know what next year's date is. I haven't been to the
Wow.
convention in several years.
Yeah.
It's typically right around that time period. That would affect walk-in early voters. Yeah. Big time. The 23rd, I don't think they have any problem with that convention, but they may have another one.
Yeah, especially in June. I'm sure they've got a lot of events going on.
It looks like it, if this is the right year, June 14th through June 19th. Just gonna be right through that time.
How about for the convention?
For the convention?
133rd Annual Convention and Conference.
They typically have apparatus set out in the parking lot and
Right.
there's personnel from all over the state and northern areas come in. for that convention.
Yeah,
Question, have we vaccinated? Did we do that before?
I don't remember.
I don't remember, but they changed the election dates. It used to be in May and then it's June and
June
I
14th
just
through the
remember a whole
19th.
bunch of vendors
It was
in there.
just something that we just went through not too long ago, and I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't the farm.
That was the campers,
it
remember
was-
all those campers
Yes,
and
I
everywhere.
remember
school lunch.
Expo,
We didn't have that since then.
June 14th through the 19th.
Yeah. I thought that they pushed another.
It's always a challenge. It's a challenge. I don't know if the convention center would be willing to designate so many parking places for the voters. We could ask.
I think like Ed said, accessibility to the building. So you still can't park, handicap parking is still accessible to the building. So, and once you get in, if everything's working, escalators, elevators,
Yeah.
you can get to where you need to go. I was just curious to know where they put us. I didn't even know that. But
Yeah, we don't know right until a week or two before
Right.
early voting. They
Did
do
we
this.
even have it?
No, we know we have it, but what area we're gonna be in?
So is the convention center one that has responded?
No.
And if they do, say, for example, they respond right now, trust me, it's not, it's a possibility that they'll give us a space and then turn around and relocate us after they've already given us. So,
I just share my concerns. That's going to be the case.
Yeah, that's-
For your own voting.
That's good for the heads up.
Yeah.
That's the 14th through the 19th.
That's what I see.
Yeah, that's what I looked it up.
Because you figure you only have 3 days then. What is it, the 11th, 12th, and 13th?
Yeah, it says the
That is
14th
gonna
through the
be-
19th.
But then
Right.
you have to understand that people come in for
Set up.
set up prior
Yeah.
to that. And I just,
Yeah.
I'm worried about the accessibility for the parking.
It's concerning.
It might be something we need to discuss with the convention center. Okay, the next thing I have is the voter registration totals and a list of our polling places. And it's dated 2024, but as soon as we consolidate polling places, we'll update for 2026, but it's just a list of our polls.
Right.
And number of voters in each precinct.
So it's how many voters we have.
Also, there was a law passed, and we still need clarification on it, but the chief judges at each polling place need to be Democrat and Republican, equal numbers. In the past, when we were unable to find enough of a certain party, we were allowed to choose unaffiliated
Right.
to fill in for that party.
But after
But
a
now-
certain point, we can
Right.
use unaffiliated.
Right, I think it's like 3 weeks before the
Like if
election.
somebody cancels out, after a certain point, then we can use whatever judge we can find, whether they're
You have a
independent.
balance of vote on equally on both sides. So there's parties that
Well, we do by using unaffiliated, but now Karen has contacted the judges and she seems to think we'll be okay, that we have enough equal representation for chiefs.
Right.
But our question is, does that also apply for the regular judges? Because we
Okay.
usually have trouble finding either one party or another to work, so we do use the unaffiliated if we can't find the proper party. And that's what we're waiting for the state board to clarify, that we can still
But
use.
But the practice has usually been to make sure we have Democrat and Republican. And
Yes.
only use it as a reason.
Yes. And we reach out to the central committees and also board members to see if they know of anyone. As far as candidate filing, as of June 11th, 4 candidates have filed candidacy. We have Steve Green for Commissioner District 4, Susan Brannicky for Clerk of Court, Matt Crisafulli for Sheriff, and Kathy Cater for Board of Ed, Commissioner District 6. And you can go on the State Board of Elections website and they update daily as people file for office.
Do you have a copy of that? What you needed? Do you have a copy?
I can email. Yeah. As far as our voting equipment, Tehran has completed all the post-election maintenance on all the poll books, printers, and voting equipment. He's completed the fiscal year 25 annual inventory audit of all state-owned equipment. In 2028, both the poll book and new voting system are scheduled for replacement.
The new poll books,
Yes.
the infamous.
And in
new poll books.
2030, the plan is to procure a new voter registration system. So just wanted to give you a heads up. It's coming in the future.
2030.
2030.
It's gonna be there before you do it. It'll be.
And if they give that information to us so we can plan for budgeting purposes, because we always have to plan the year ahead. Right, as far as outreach, our office is going to begin voter registration outreach in the fall to register voters and recruit election judges. We would do it now, but there's so many people on the northern end of the county that are here on vacation and, you know, of course, they can't work as an election judge because they're not from this county, they're far away. So we just thought we'd wait until the fall. Next item is comments from the public. I have Vincent Israel here who wants to talk, and I had sent the board members a copy of his letter
Right.
that he had sent me a week and a half ago. Okay,
Vince?
yes,
This-
that's the podium.
You want me
And,
to get the
Ron
5
can
minutes
see it.
on once he starts?
I guess is the camera ready?
Is that good?
Madam,
Yeah, you could, hang on just a second.
Okay.
Board
Oh,
President.
and then
Yeah.
This
You
is-
just want to make sure we get you on camera.
Oh, stop.
Ron will let us know when he's ready.
I need a makeup or a
Okay.
Madam Board President, members of the board and the staff. I'm Vince Kisriel, Ocean City, Maryland. First, I want to acknowledge and thank you for the work you did in cleaning up the duplicate registrations. We submitted 13 names here in Worcester County last fall, and all those names were addressed and cleared up. Subsequent to that, we found 2 more names, and I think that's in your letter that Ms. Jackson has. But I spoke here before you on January 8th at your last board meeting, and I continued to address my concerns about mail-in ballots and how I was seeing in the 17 rural counties throughout Maryland, virtually 100% flip between Republicans getting votes and winning the in-person vote, but then the mail-ins would flip the other way, albeit smaller numbers. There were some exceptions that I've noted, and I have that in the cover letter, but for the most part, it was a near 100% flip. At the conclusion of that meeting, Mr. Pender pointed out or raised the question, had I ever looked at the ratio of Democrats versus Republicans that come out and vote by mail? And I admitted that I had not done that, but I pondered that question as I left here. And I realized that was an important question and a fair question, and I wanted to know the answer because for my data to be valid, I need to know that. So what I did, I tracked through the state website, the report called the Official Turnout Report by Party and County. And I found that in the 17 counties, with the exception of Garrett, rural counties, the Democrats outnumber Republicans almost 62, 63, 64% over the Republicans in mail-in turnout. Now, one exception being Garrett County, where the Republicans vote more by mail. But that's not the end of the story. As I dug deeper into it, I came to find out, and I like to read from my letter that I'm going to hand out to each member. In the exhibits, you will notice that Republican in-person vote totals generally match or exceed Republican turnout. In other words, the Republicans on those mail-ins did better. I mean, in the in-person, did better than their turnout rate in terms of votes for Republicans. But when you looked at the Republican mail-ins that were far less than the Democrats, not only was it far less in turnout, but you saw a decrease in the votes going to Republicans. So in other words, in person, the votes, the Republicans outweigh in the rural counties, and then their vote totals exceed their turnout. But when you check the mail-in ballots, not only do they vote less than Democrats, but the votes for Republican candidates on average are less than their turnout rate. I've prepared a chart or a graph of sorts that you'll have. Just to give you an example, and I've highlighted Worcester County. Votes for the president in 2024 by Republican candidates by mail were up 0.8%, but the mail-ins were down 4.8%. And that's consistent right on down the ticket. And it's consistent across the spectrum. So I'm going to turn into Ms. Jackson a complete list of my exhibits, which you can review at your leisure. But I'll end these comments by leaving copies of the letter I was reading from, along with my analysis of Worcester County. It's very revealing, and there's something going on with mail-ins. And I don't know if you feel that or sense it yourself, but I think most of the issues surrounding voter integrity questions are suspect mail-ins. This huge volume of mail-ins that we're dealing with nationwide, statewide, countywide. And I think you're going to find that the culprit in any questionable activity is going to be focused on Maryland's. And I think the statistics will help reveal some of that. I share this with you because you're my board, and I appreciate what you do and you do for the community. And most people in the voter community, voter integrity community, are appreciative of their local boards. But something's happening either at the state level or the national level that's way beyond our knowledge and control. But it's only by knowledge and sharing information that we'll ever get our handles on this. So I thank you for your time as usual. You're always very cordial to me and my colleague, Dennis, who's helped me tremendously. We collaborate in our efforts. So with that, I'll close and hand out to Ms. Jackson to distribute this stuff. Thank you again.
Thank you. I
you.
appreciate your time.
This is the third topic for your review, dissemination. This is a copy from Mr. President. Oops. And then each board member can throw on and staff get this. If there's enough copies for everybody. Thank you so much.
Yes. And our next speaker is Dennis Evans.
Hi, I'm Dennis Evans from Berlin. The last time I was here, we discussed the nursing homes, not nursing homes, but the funeral parlors, alerting the respective boards of elections about deaths. And I turned in quite a few names to you, and it wasn't acceptable, but I got in touch with Wayne Hartman. He said, sent me back, his delegate sent me back this, regarding funeral homes notifying the State Board of Elections. Delegate Hartman has already introduced such legislation for our local funeral homes. They came out in strong opposition. This issue really varies from county to county as to how effective the County Board of Elections is with cleaning up the voter roll. Additionally, it would be needed to address federally because people may live in one state and go out of state to a funeral home and be buried in their place of origin or for other reasons. Delegate Hartman agrees with your concerns and has tried to do this exact thing. Have mandatory funeral homes elected, notifying their respective boards. However, he will continue to push for integral elections in Maryland for reasonable measures to make them secure. I haven't heard back from Mary Beth Carosa, got this same letter from me, and also an FYI was sent to Andy Harris. And I know he's agreement with what we're doing. I just wanted to let you people know, I don't know if you know about Secure the Vote. This is an organization with a lot of Western Shore people involved with it. We have a Zoom meeting every Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. Still going on. They're extremely active with their research about voter integrity in Maryland. And we got national recognition through Judicial Watch. I'm going to be handing these out to Pat. I'm going to give you a lot of work out of here. But this is national recognition. We won a lawsuit. We took the state to court because the state was saying that you can't access voter rolls in order to investigate them. And the state of Maryland, right. And we won that suit. And Judicial Watch, through Tom Fenton, actually mentioned our organization on national television. And this is part of that publication that went out nationally. You can read about it a little bit, about exactly what took place, the judge's ruling on the matter. The other thing I'd like to show you also here, and I'll hand out one of these to each of you, is what Secure the Vote has been doing, breaking down all the different categories of possible malfeasance or problems with voting in each county. And I underlined, of course, Worcester County, and you can see your ranking, how this is going, how you look with how you line up with the rest of the counties. I can send you the point I'm trying to make here is there's a tremendous amount of work being done. And I wanted to update you people about what exactly is going on. The other thing too is I downloaded, I don't know how people can be a lawyer, Executive Order, 14248, preserving and protecting the integrity of American elections. It's pretty wordy. It's made for the lawyer to read, but the bottom line is that this EO authorizes federal agencies to withhold funds from jurisdictions that don't adhere to its policies. Now, its policies are all here. The lawyer is not here today, the attorney.
She's in court.
Oh, okay. I
I
guess
can
I'm
get a
gonna
copy
load
to
you
her.
up with all of this stuff, but, yeah, she can read this. I've underlined things that jumped out at me, but I'm not a lawyer, of course. But this is something that we want to take a look at because we do want federal funding. But the executive order says that if you don't comply, you're not gonna get federal funding. But, I think I said it all. Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
You want me to hand these out or you want to go ahead and hand them? Okay, but this is for the attorney and I can give each one of you, a copy of, which I wish I had 3 hands. But anyway, let me see what I'm looking at. Yeah, you could, understand what we're doing here, get a good idea of, everything. Make this your copy. Thank you. Thank you. Did I give you yours?
Yeah, you did.
This is the national education. And this is excluded.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You guys are reading. We have enough of them.
Extras.
I'll just leave these extras with you. Just that one trip back. The national application. All right, thank you very much.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Hey, Dennis.
Yep.
How can total registered? Never mind, I'm okay. Okay, total registered exceeds.
A lot of that I didn't do, so it's hard for me, a little hard for me to.
Total registered exceeds eligible voters.
Okay.
Could that be Patty?
Okay, all right, just curious.
That's what you were asking too, the total registered voters
Yeah.
as opposed to the eligible voters.
You're talking about the 30 column?
No, right here, right. Total registered.
So other people. There's first two in here, a little bit, I know it's a little bit.
We believe the developer of this document counted that many voters, then came over here with this figure based on census data. According to them, we're at 105% of eligible voters. I've asked them in the past to quote the source of that data.
Okay.
We just hear the numbers a little higher. This is a little higher, so that's why 105.
Oh, I understand.
It's up to you.
Yeah, in other words, they don't have, and I didn't think to do with Dennis did, that sure is.
Thank you.
I was trying to be expedient. Backfire.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll make sure our attorney gets copies.
And I think there's an accident for the,
Yeah, she's in court today, but I
Oh,
can
okay.
scan all
Yeah.
this and send it.
thank you all for your time.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
Our new warehouse space is now complete. We're waiting for the new lease agreement to be signed by the county commissioners. And, then we can start moving our equipment into the area. And, didn't know if you all wanted to have a tour of the new warehouse area. Okay. I guess, can we pause it? Is there a way to pause it or suspend it?
Or after.
Just do it after?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we can do that. Our next item is a closed session. We have some personnel issues that we need to discuss, so I have to ask our guests to step out. And then after a closed session, we'll adjourn the meeting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Did everybody sign?
Yeah.
Happy 4th of July.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you.
And there's no way to suspend it, right? So I guess we'll have to adjourn the meeting.
Yeah.
On that, yeah. So we just need a motion for adjournment.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
Who made the motion?
Tom.
Harry, I did.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And our next meeting will be in October.
October.
If you want, I can go ahead and do the closed session now and then